Hello and welcome to Q Programming. My name is Sammarth, and in this video we'll be looking at three concepts: attributes of file object, closing a file, and the with clause. These are important as well. Last videos we covered opening file, the access mode, and the paths, and then also the introduction to the file. In this video, we're going to get started more with the programming part of the chapter. So let's see these attributes of a file object. So these are three attributes that we have. These are the important ones. That first is .flows, .mode, and .name. Now notice we don't have any brackets after this. We don't have brackets like in a method, right? The attribute is not a method. It doesn't call any code. It just gives you a value based on part of a something called object-oriented programming, in which you define classes, and these classes have different attributes. Different objects have different attributes. It's part of that concept, which is not in your syllabus, but just for a little reference, I've told you that. So these attributes tell us different things. So the first thing is file.close, which tells us whether file has been closed or not. If it's closed, it's true, else false. File.mode tells us the access mode in the file which the file was opened, and the file name, file.name tells us the name of the file. These are the very simple attributes you can remember. Now, closing a file. Why do you have to close the file? You can say, like, you can leave it open. Why does it matter? Right? But don't we have to close the file, because what Python does is, when you make any changes to a file object, we use the file object in Python. We don't use the actual file. We use the file object. It assigns those changes to a buffer. That's not the actual file. It's a buffer which contains those changes, and only when you close that file is the data contained, the changes in the buffer, those changes are written to the actual file. So only after you close the file will you see the changes reflected in the file, which means you have to close the file for the changes to be reflected. That's why you have to use the close method. But let's say I keep forgetting to close my file. I don't want to close my file, I don't know why. I keep forgetting. It's a common mistake to forget to close these files. So we have the with clause. This with clause makes it very easy for us. We don't have to close the files, because after you exit the with clause, the file will automatically close, which means that we don't have to worry about that at all. So it makes it memory efficient, and it has a simpler syntax. Why? Look at this. With open the file in the mode as file, you type your code. Now this looks a bit like file is equal to open file name mode. It's the same thing, except in this time when you exit this with clause, your file will automatically close and your changes will be reflected automatically. You don't have to worry about using file.close. You don't have to worry, did I forget to use that? Did I not forget? It'll be very simple. So this is a very, very practical thing. So even if you're not using it in your coursework, whenever you're writing software, make sure to use the with clause, because it is very good for programming. Make sure it reduces the chances of errors in your code. Because like I said, your file will automatically loads, all the changes will be reflected automatically. You don't need to worry about anything. And it's a simple syntax. So here, file is known as the alias, right? The file is the file object. It's the alias of open with file name mode. Alias is basically the file object. File is the file object, again, as in the file.open syntax. This is a different syntax, same function, but it's much more efficient for us. Let's look at quick examples. In the last video, we created the file.txt. It's empty, but let's open that file in the with clause, file.txt, comma read mode as file. And now we can print some code. Let's say print hello. We won't be writing the file. We'll be writing the file in the next video for that. So let's print this, and it prints hello. So it opens the file and then it prints hello, and then after this it should be closed. Now let's say we want to test to see if it has been closed or not. Remember, we just looked at the attributes. File.close will tell us if it's closed or not. So let's look inside the thing. Print file.closed, and here print file.close on this. False and true. Why? Because when we're inside the with clause, the file is still open for us. Inside the with clause, the file is open. But once we exit that the with clause, the file is closed, so it's true. So you can see how this with clause works, and also you've seen how the attribute works. So this is a great example to understand both these concepts. So yeah, so you've learned about these different attributes, how to close the file, and the with clause and its advantages. So these are very small concepts, but these can be important concepts for you. And you can also get a question on the with clause. What makes the with clause advantageous? Why should we use a with clause instead of the close? All those things, and why do we need to close the file? I've answered all those questions for you. And if you still don't understand, don't worry, you can rewatch this video. If you have any questions, you can ask in the comments. But that's it for this video. And if you like this video, if you understood everything, make sure you subscribe to the channel, make sure you like this video and share with your friends so they can also understand. And make sure you turn on the bell notification because we'll be uploading more videos in this file handling series, and we want you to watch them as soon as they're out. So make sure you do all those things, and we will be waiting for you in the next video. Looking forward to seeing you then.